Deep in the heart of Tennessee lies a legend so sinister, it has baffled investigators and terrified visitors for over 2 centuries. What would you do if a spirit not only haunted your home, but also vowed to destroy your family? This is the story of the Bell Witch Farm, where whispers in the dark became screams, and where history's only recorded death attributed to a spirit took place. Could it all be true? Let's uncover the chilling mystery. The Bell Witch Farm, located in Adams, Tennessee, stands as one of America's most infamous haunted locations. Between 1817 and 1821, the Bell family was plagued by a supernatural entity known as Kate. This vengeful spirit didn't just haunt their home, it turned their lives into a living nightmare. 200 years later, the legend of the Bell Witch continues to send shivers down spines. But what really happened on that farm, and why does the story endure? The Bell Witch legend is shrouded in mystery, filled with accounts of physical attacks, eerie voices. But why did Kate target the Bell family? And could such an entity truly exist? Paranormal investigators, historians, and skeptics have debated these questions for years, yet the truth remains elusive. In 1804, John Bell and his family moved to the Red River area of Tennessee, seeking a prosperous life on its fertile land. But by 1817, their peaceful life unraveled. It began with odd noises, scratching, knocking, and faint whispers that seemed to come from nowhere. Then came sightings, a bizarre creature with the body of a dog and the head of a rabbit lurking near the farm. As the strange occurrences at the Bell farm escalated, the family initially tried to ignore them, hoping the events would simply stop. However, the disturbances only became more frequent and intense. John Bell, wary of ridicule and skepticism from the community and his church, swore his family to secrecy. Despite their efforts to maintain normalcy, the haunting took a sinister turn as the entity began interacting directly with the family. One evening, John Bell Jr. and his brother Drury were returning from a fishing trip when they heard rustling in the bushes. Believing it to be a worker named Dean, they called out. To their shock, a voice responded, but it wasn't Dean's. Overcome with fear, the brothers ran home without investigating further. Later that night, the family experienced the entity's power firsthand. While gathered in their sitting room, a chilling whisper filled the air, as though the spirit was attempting to communicate. When John Bell asked what it wanted, the whispers grew louder but remained unintelligible. Suddenly, a powerful cold draft swept through the room, and furniture began flying in all directions. John Jr. and Drury scrambled to restore order, but the chaos persisted. Moments later, piercing screams erupted from their sister Elizabeth's room upstairs. The brothers rushed in to find her crying in terror, pointing to a small fire that had inexplicably ignited in her room. Though it was extinguished quickly, the fire left the family shaken. The entity's physical attacks soon escalated, with Elizabeth bearing the brunt of its cruelty. She endured relentless hair-pulling, pinching, slapping, and whispered threats. The spirit called her vile names and vowed to harm her, leaving her in a constant state of fear. The haunting grew increasingly malevolent, spreading its torment to anyone who visited the Bell home. What was once a place of peace and comfort had transformed into a prison of fear and uncertainty, where no one felt safe. The chilling revelation of the entity's identity came during a tense encounter with Reverend James Gunn. As the community struggled to cope with the escalating terror, Gunn, a man of steadfast faith, chose to confront the entity directly. Carefully, he posed a question designed to compel a truthful answer, one the entity could not avoid. In a moment that sent shivers through all present, the entity responded in a voice dripping with malice. I am nothing but old Kate Batts' witch, determined to torment old Jack Bell out of his life. This shocking declaration reverberated through the community, breathing life into long-standing rumors about Kate Batts. Known for her eccentric behavior and the whispers of witchcraft that surrounded her, Kate was already a figure of suspicion. The entity's claim to be her witch cemented the connection in the minds of the terrified townsfolk. From that moment on, the entity was no longer an unnamed specter. It became Kate, a name forever tied to the haunting of the Bell farm. Adding to the horror, the Bell Witch introduced a group of entities it called the Witch family. It was a group of 4 entities that appeared during the height of the Bell Witch haunting. Led by Black Dog, a rough feminine voice, the family included Mathematics and Psychopathy, who spoke in the voices of young girls, and Jerusalem, who spoke in the voice of a young boy. The Witch family often put on shows at the Bell home, marked by the odor of corn whiskey and bizarre behavior. These demonstrations included singing hymns, talking to the bells and guests, and sometimes even shouting profanities. The Witch family's appearances were not limited to the Bell home, however. One afternoon, Elizabeth Bell and her sister Esther Porter witnessed the Witch family in a field near the Porter home. The entities, including a pale woman, 2 girls, and a boy, were bouncing up and down on saplings as if they were playing. Esther's husband, Alex, who could only see the saplings bouncing, fired his gun in the direction of the figures, causing them to disappear. Later, Black Dog remarked that Alex Porter was a good shot and had broken Jerusalem's arm. The Witch family ceased its demonstrations after a few months and was never heard from again in the 19th century. At the heart of the Bell Witch haunting lay a sinister agenda, a carefully orchestrated plan of torment and destruction aimed squarely at patriarch John Bell. Kate made no secret of her deep-seated hatred for him, vowing to make his death a slow and agonizing demise. She tormented him relentlessly, inflicting physical pain, psychological torture, and public humiliation. She reveled in disrupting his meals, causing him to choke and struggle to swallow. She slapped him, stuck pins in him, and filled his nights with terrifying noises and apparitions, all designed to break his spirit and hasten his demise. While her motivations remained shrouded in mystery, her actions spoke volumes of her intent. John Bell was her target, his suffering her twisted delight, and his death her ultimate goal. Joshua Gardner played a key role in the Bell Witch legend, largely because he was engaged to Elizabeth Betsy Bell during the height of the haunting. Known for his bright personality and outspoken nature, Joshua was well regarded in the community, and the Bells held him and his family in high esteem. However, the entity fiercely opposed their relationship, repeatedly warning Betsy against marrying him. Kate's interference was a cruel and calculated campaign with a sinister purpose that remains a mystery. From the beginning of her haunting at the Bell farm, Kate made her disdain for the couple's courtship unmistakably clear. She whispered chilling warnings to Betsy, her voice like an ominous breeze rustling through the trees. "Please, Betsy Bell, don't have Joshua Gardner," she implored, her words a constant reminder of her opposition. Her torment escalated, infecting the couple's happy moments with dread. When Betsy and Joshua sought solace in each other's company, Kate's disembodied voice would echo around them, turning their private moments into a nightmare. The entity's relentless torment began to wear them down. Kate's constant predictions of misery if they married took an emotional toll, leaving the young couple shaken and uncertain. The psychological warfare reached its devastating peak on Easter Monday in 1821. While Betsy and Joshua spent a joyous day fishing and laughing with friends, Kate's booming voice rang through the valley, cutting through their happiness. She repeated her grim warnings, her tone heavy with doom, predicting lifelong unhappiness if they wed. Her words left an undeniable impact. Overwhelmed with fear and a foreboding sense of fate, Betsy made the heartbreaking decision to end her engagement with Joshua. Kate had achieved her goal, leaving behind a trail of shattered dreams and a love story tragically cut short. The final chapter of John Bell's life was a grim descent into torment and despair, orchestrated once again by Kate. Once a strong and influential patriarch, John was reduced to a frail shadow of his former self, bedridden and racked by a mysterious illness that relentlessly ravaged his body. Kate intensified her attacks as his condition deteriorated, transforming the Bell home into a place of fear and anguish. John's tongue swelled, making eating and speaking agonizing, while violent seizures left him weak and disoriented. Inexplicably, even his shoes would fly off his feet, one of many bizarre demonstrations of Kate's power. As his health declined, her presence became ever more oppressive. The home was filled with disembodied voices and haunting hymns, creating an eerie, relentless backdrop to his suffering. On a cold December morning in 1820, John Bell slipped into a coma, the air heavy with the stench of a mysterious vial of medicine found beside his bed. Despite desperate efforts by family and friends, he passed away on December 20th, with his death officially attributed to poisoning. This tragic end to years of torment cemented Kate's infamous legacy as the only entity in recorded history alleged to have claimed a human life. After successfully breaking Elizabeth Bell and Joshua Gardner's engagement, Kate's relentless torment of the Bell family began to subside. Her visits grew infrequent, and the malevolent intensity she had once displayed seemed to diminish. In May 1821, the family experienced one final, bizarre event. Smoke suddenly filled the hallway, and a strange round object rolled across the floor toward the fireplace. Then, Kate's voice echoed through the house as she bid farewell to Lucy Bell and the children. She announced she would leave for 7 years, vowing to visit every home in the area upon her return. True to her word, Kate's torment ceased, allowing the Bells to begin rebuilding their lives, though Elizabeth remained devastated over the loss of her engagement to Joshua. In 1828, Kate returned for a brief period. During this time, she primarily interacted with John Bell Jr., engaging him in conversations that revealed her eerie knowledge of future events. Kate predicted the Civil War, including the Union's capture of New Orleans, a conflict in which John Jr. would later participate. She also hinted at a far-off global conflict, possibly a reference to World War I, and ominously promised to return again in 107 years. This cryptic vow fueled ongoing speculation and intrigue about the Bell Witch's legacy, ensuring her haunting influence would endure long after her departure. Almost 200 years after the initial haunting, the Bell Witch story continues to fascinate and terrify people worldwide. The unexplained phenomena, the mysterious entity, and the lingering sense of dread surrounding the Bell Witch farm have ensured its place in American folklore. What are your thoughts on the Bell Witch legend? Do you believe in the power of the supernatural? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating stories like this one. There's another video waiting for you right here on the screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.